Hey guys, Laura J.E. Hamilton here on November 22nd, and I just got off the phone with a phenomenal woman for a leading authority in the field of leadership communication, the 5 a.m. Club. Who could it be? And I just had this amazing exchange because I basically called and I said, I have tremendous value to offer. I want to connect with a local celebrity within the personal growth field because I understand the power of affiliation. I have also walked that talk by aligning myself with top leaders in the industry. And ironically, John C. Maxwell, one of my mentors, who I refer to as Papa John, is actually coming to this summit in just a couple weeks, and I called just in time to be able to potentially have an opportunity to attend as well if I can get some strings pulled and move some things around to make it happen. And I'm going to, because if I don't jump when the universe makes room, then who am I to complain about the opportunities that I didn't get to actually fulfill? So many of us are asking and asking and asking, and then we turn down opportunities when they show up because it's too much. Well, the universe doesn't give you a dream that fits your bank account. The universe gives us a dream that is going to stretch us and grow us and help us live into not just the bank account, but into becoming the person that has a bank account that is able to afford that, no problem. It is the opportunity to align ourselves with dreams by actually going after more of something like what we want instead of feeling like we need to wait for someone else to open the door for us. For a long time, I was trying to figure out how to do business like everyone else when I was looking around thinking, dear God, no, that's not how I want to run my business. I watched a relationship I was in be destroyed by someone that became so monomaniacally focused on his vision that he had nothing left to give me after he'd put everything into his business, his exercise, his kids, and then whatever was left was just spent sitting on the couch watching Netflix after the supper I had prepared because I was a fully supported housewife that wasn't married. I got to be an early 20s supported housewife that could grow myself and develop and connect with big names in the industry, people that were charging a lot of money to have time spent with them because they understand how much it's taken for them to show up ready to share the insights and wisdom that are ready to flow through them because of who they became as they marinated in the pain of their transformation. On the phone, I was speaking to this fabulous woman named Jo, and she was reluctant at first in sharing her age because who asks that in an original phone conversation? And actually last night on the John Tesh radio show, I heard him say that it's actually illegal for an employer to ask your age unless it's necessary to know that you are over 18. You're not actually allowed to ask when you graduated for how it implicates age. The employer or prospective employer would have to ask something that would either be self-willingly offered or that was actually already on the resume. That is the kind of society that we have become. We have become so afraid of truth that we can't ask it out front. We can't set a boundary or ask where the boundary is because of how it could potentially offend somebody. We have become such a polite society that we are more connected and yet disconnected than ever before. It's absolute insanity for us to continue doing the same things while expecting different results, and that's by Einstein's definition. It's truly insane to think that we need to become anything other than we already are in order to be enough when we were born enough. As babies, we used to look at our fingers and our toes when we were in the happy baby yoga pose. When we were on our backs and our arms and our legs were connected and we were flicking the toe lint off from our socks that we didn't have to wear all the time because we could be naked and joyful and free, and it was just fun. Being a baby, there was nothing required. We had no responsibilities. We had no expectations. There was nothing on us. But then around the age of 1 and then 2, after we start walking, as we show more adeptness and ability to actually be more of who we are and to be more capable, we get more responsibilities put onto us. And some of us got to the point where it was like, well, wait a minute. If I actually say how good I am, then more is required of me. So I'm just going to pretend to be less than I am. And when we first made that agreement to do less than our best in order to not have to work quite so hard, we made an agreement with our small self, the ego, the one that is an earth guide only. As Wayne Dyer said in a video I listened to on YouTube just the other day. I'd never heard it. I always thought it was edging God out. Because when we are egoic, we can't hear the intuition that is ready to flow through us. It is running to us and then flowing through us if we let it, unless we block it and suppress it. And when we suppress an emotion, an energy in motion, if we don't move it eventually, it will become dis-ease, cellular disharmony within the body. The cells are meant to flow fluidly and freely, and we're supposed to have fun. That's who we naturally are. That's what that baby is doing in that yoga pose. It's just appreciating all of its enoughness because it knows that there is nothing other than enough. Except for then, once we have all of these extra responsibilities added on, then we think, well, maybe enough is just this. And then doing extra would be over and above. So I just only have to do enough. I just have to put my lid right here. I'm good with this being my lid. It feels safe. It's contained. No. No. It's time to get out of that and to realize that when I asked the age of this woman I was speaking with, this bright light, this spark on the phone that showed connection. It was like a neuron synapses sparking because it was like, woo, we've come together and we're connected and this is amazing and it was fun. When we can bring ourselves that level of excitement, even if we don't maybe express it quite so vocally as what I do, I love to perform. It just lights me up to be alive. And to share that with other people and to help them say, oh my God, if she's so excited at 9:46 in the morning, then I surely too can do the same and more. Jesus said, this too you can do and more. Jesus did not claim to be the way. Jesus claimed to have found a way that others could also find, but realize that your path is not blazed yet, and no one can tell you what your path is. No one can point you in the direction of your purpose. Your purpose is to experience and express yourself as an individuated expression of the grand overall designer, from whence we all came and to which we will all return. None of us are going to heaven or hell because they don't exist. Those are figments of our imagination that made us feel safe because they were boxes we could put God in. And then when we can put God in a box, we can put us in a box with God or without God, but hopefully with God because it's better there, right? But then we're so afraid of how God is going to judge us that then we say, oh no, actually, wait. Which one is the better box to go into? Heaven, of course. I don't want to burn in eternal hell. Well, I'm freaking cold a lot of the time. So hell wouldn't be so bad. And heaven, not so bad either. But either way, they're only going to be expressions of our imagination because we are that powerful. Our soul has access to everything that has come before us and that will come now. Our soul has access to everything, all stories, through the Akashic records, the supra-consciousness that all of us have access to within the field. In quantum physics, it's called zero-point field. It is the God force. It is the line where we say, holy shit, there is something bigger than me. Imagine! Yeah, of course there is, darling. But what's cool and why I keep going back to it, and I'm going to close with this sentiment, is that on the phone, when I was told that the lady that I was speaking to was 41, I told her that next year is the year of transformation. Because at 42, we move out of developing our sixth chakra, the third eye, our intuition. We have fully finished that as our major for that 7-year period of development that each of our chakras go through in our first 42 years. And then in the 42nd year, it moves into the crown, where we are able to develop and expand our connection with all that is, with the divine.